Hello and welcome back. In the last video we had 3 open trades. Our account balance was 497, I think it was, but the equity was down by over $100. We're having some issues with the Forex account, moving my stops and screwing with the algorithm and all of this stuff that I need to do to get back on track. So now I'm in the process of getting all those changes made, as well as a few other things. Also today I shuffled a bunch of stuff around in YouTube. I created a new branded channel and transferred all the videos from this channel over to the branded channel, and in the process any replies to your comments, any replies that I made to your comments did not get transferred across. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but that's just part of the deal when if you have to transfer content from one channel to another, to a branded channel, it just, for whatever reason, your original any comments created by the channel creator don't get transferred across. Everything else does. So all your questions and stuff are still there, but if I answered them, the answers are gone. So I might go back later and re-answer the questions if I have time. So what's going on with the Forex account now? Since Friday, the price continued going up instead of down towards my take profit. It went up towards my stop loss. On Friday I showed you we had indicator lines that I get alerted if the price goes above the buy line or below the sell line. Well, I have moved those, because if you notice here, this big red line, that is a trade that I closed right around the 160 pip. I think it was like 156 pips away from the first trade. So that first trade that was down here somewhere is now closed, and let's see, and that stop is still where it's sitting, where it was sitting on Friday. That hasn't changed, but the price did get close to 160 pips away from that first trade, and the algorithm would have closed it if it did get to 160. It didn't actually get to 160. It was like to 156 or something like that when I saw it anyway. So I thought, well, I'll just close it manually, and that took that cost us about $66 from our balance. But what that does is that frees up some margin so that a new trade can get placed. It didn't happen on Friday, because this was when I closed this trade, there was maybe 2 hours left for the market to be open on Friday, and that was part of the reason why I did it. It was like, man, the market's almost closed. I'm almost to my stop loss, what would be my first stop loss level. I don't want to have this trade sitting open over the weekend and then something bad happen and I just, I get stopped out on all 3. So just to save a few bucks, I closed it as the algorithm would have if it was working properly, if the broker was cooperating with the bot. Okay, so this is the second trade here. Let me scrunch that down a bit. So this is the second position that was open, and this new line, I moved that line 160 pips away from this position now. So now I know if the price gets there, I'll close that trade as if the algo was doing it for me, right? Assuming that I'm at the chart when it happens. And that's why I have the alerter set up for that. As soon as I hear that alert, if I'm available, I'll close that trade. Boom, take the second loss. We're talking about another 66 bucks though, so it's going to be painful. So what I'm hoping will happen is on Sunday, when the market opens, sometime after the market opens, a new trade will go in somewhere at or above this price here, where the price is now, right? and that will move the break-even line from here where it is, because it's right smack in the middle of these two trades. That's the break-even for those two. It'll move it from there to way up here somewhere, which is that much closer to what the current price will be at the time, right? And so hopefully, when that trade goes in, the price retraces. Hopefully, the break-even price will be closer to that stop price, closer than to the regular. How do I say that again? Hopefully, the break-even price will be closer to the current price than the stop price is to the current price, and the current price will retrace, close out in profit. Well, not necessarily profit, but close out the basket in profit, minus the $66 loss that I took by closing that first trade. And that would hopefully bring my equity down to about what it is, my balance about to what it is right now, if not a little bit better. If you look at the balance now, it's 434, down from 497, I think it was. And my equity, though, is 337. You can't see my free margin or margin level, but let me get out of the way here real quick. Hang on a second. Okay, so now you can see my free margin is $148. Margin level is back up to 178, because each position you have open reduces your margin level, right, and reduces your free margin. So I closed that. That's part of the reason why you close that position, is to free up some margin. But the hope is that I'll place another position at a higher price to move the break even, so that hopefully I'll get out of this mess and be able to start the recovery process, which we've seen before tends to take about 4 days or so to recover from a loss like that. Well, let's look at the Myfxbook then and see what that looks like. Yeah. If you look there, I was at, where's that at? I was at 102% according to Myfxbook, down to 76%. So, I mean, it's a pretty nasty hit that I took, but it could be worse. I mean, if you look at my equity is down to 38%. That's still 38% profit, so it's not that big a deal, but it's ugly. Okay, let's go back to the chart. And you might also notice that I moved this line, the alerter line, right close to the last trade that was placed. And the reason I did that was, I mean, no real good reason, but I thought, well, I want to get an alert that tells me that at least this trade is in profit. This is assuming that I don't place another trade, which, it's going to be Sunday. There's not going to be a whole lot of activity. So there is a good chance that there won't be enough volatility for a new trade to go in. And so I moved the price here for now. I moved the alerter line here, basically so that I know, well, if the price retraces and this trade goes into profit, I can get an alert and I can kind of monitor it, and maybe I can decide, you know what, just close everything now, or if things look good, let it ride until it hits the break even and starts a trailing stop on its own. I'm kind of in this intervention mode where I'm just kind of waiting to see what the market does, and then deciding if I need to intervene and take matters into my own hand, or if I just let the bot do its thing. But the ultimate goal right now is to get out of this trading round so that I can make the switch to the demo account and put the trade copier on this account and all that stuff. I've got all that stuff set up in the background, but I have to make the switch and turn all that stuff on after this trading round is over, right? So that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate desire is for us to get out of this round without taking any more hits and just taking that $66 loss, and it'll be, and then depending on how far the trailing stop goes, that determines, well, how much of that $66 I get back, right, when that basket closes. I think that's pretty much it, right? I showed you the Myfxbook. I showed you the balance and equity and whatnot. We got this big line here. This trade, I'm going to scroll back and see, because it was, let's see. So that was the 23rd, right? And this is the 27th. So that trade was open for 4 days. This trading round's been open for 4 days. And that really sucks. I mean, that's like worst case scenario, where like you just really called it wrong and the price is trending against you, and then it either goes flat or it continues trending against you for days and days until you can finally get out of the round, which hopefully we won't see many more situations like that. 1 day, 2 days tops. But like I said, it happens. And in fact, the more situations that happen in these videos, the more educational these videos will be. So it's kind of it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. And I'm fine. I mean, I experience this stuff all the time, so it's no big deal to me. But it does suck when you have to wait 4 days for a round to close and it's only got 3 trades on it. Like if you looked at my other ZuluTrade account, I have a maximum of 10 open positions at one time. So when it gets to like 6 and 7 positions open, everybody on ZuluTrade starts freaking out, like, oh man, this is getting crazy, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it is getting a little scary, but it'll work out. It's gonna work out, and it always does. But I have that much more room for recovery if I've got that room for 10 open positions. Whereas here, because I'm trying to squeeze every last bit of margin out available for the most profit, I'm limiting myself to 3 max positions, and that puts me in situations sometimes where I'm gonna have to wait for a day or two for a price to come back in my favor and get me out of the round that I'm in. I think that's all I got for today. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know, hey, well, 2 things. The 2 main things was I created a branded YouTube channel and transferred all the videos, so all the answers to your questions are gone, unfortunately. But I might go back in and if it seems important, I might go back in and re-answer some of those questions. And then to show that I manually closed a trade at or near the point where the bot would have done it anyway, freed up some margin, and hopefully the price will retrace. Well, I kind of want a new order to go in, a new trade to go in, and then the price retrace to the break even, right? If that new trade goes in, I'll probably move this line to right near the break even, whatever that is, just so that I get an alert when that happens. And then as soon as the trailing begins, then I know it's just a matter of minutes before I can turn everything off, switch all the, put the trade copier on here, put the trade sender on the demo account, turn the demo account on, make sure all that stuff is in place. Oh, there is one other major change that I'm going to make. Because I'm now copying the trades from a demo account, the demo account is not going to automatically increase the lot size whenever, as the account grows, right? I'm going to do that manually. So I'm going to have the demo account just trade 0.01, 0.01 across the board all the time. And I'm going to use, well, I'm going to stick with the $120 that I calculated, right? So for every $120 in the account, I'm going to increase the lot multiplier by 1, and so in the case, where it's, let's say the account balance is $480, then I'll change the lot multiplier to 4, and this thing will be trading 0.04 lots, even though the master account will only be trading 0.01. I hope that makes sense. But I'm taking that on as a manual thing now, instead of letting the automation do that for me, which is actually a better way to do it, because you know, you want to have control over the lot size when you're copying somebody's trades. And so I want to make this as practical and as realistic as possible, right? I want to kind of do it in a way that somebody who's following my trades would be doing it for themselves. And since now I'm the follower of my own trades, I want to emulate that behavior. Okay, this video is getting long, and I wanted to tell you about closing a position, making changes to the YouTube channel, and what's coming next. What's the plan for here on out, right? And I think I did that more than once already. So I'm gonna end it here. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And you know, I appreciate you guys sticking with me and seeing all this going down the way it's going down. And it's like, you know, this has become a reality TV show for Forex trading, right? This is not, hey, look at me, I'm getting rich, right? No, this is, hey, look at all the crap I have to go through just to make a buck, man. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.